The special Talking Solutions this week because we're spending the entire hour with our friends from the Salvation Army of Southern Nevada. Major Kelly Ponsler is returning for his second year. And new to the show, Becky Watson. Now, I know I started things out by talking about how Major Kelly, you are so good at telling stories. This one from last year, I got to play it for everybody.
We don't always get to see the reaction on a child's face. But 2 Christmases ago, I had the joy of being able to deliver a bicycle for a little girl. We rolled this thing up, knocked on the door, and the parent peers through, and we had this little bicycle, this great big bow on it, and the little girl was sitting across the way, and she saw her mom open the door. I watched her. She kind of, is that for me? She started walking across the room, started screaming, is that for me? Is that for me? And then as soon as the mother picked it up to take it inside, I heard her scream, it's for me! It's for me! You just hear this shriek of joy, and you just kind of walk away and go, that's it right there. I just want to make that happen for kids.
I still love that story. It's for me. Today on the show, it's all about the Salvation Army. They have so many great programs here in Southern Nevada, so we're going over them, letting you know how you can help. We discussed the volunteer situation for the back end of Angel Tree, getting all of those gifts together for the toy distribution coming up that second weekend of December at Cashman Center. I bet you need a lot of volunteers to help with that.
We need lots and lots of volunteers to help us do that. It takes us a good couple of days to sort through all of those toys and get them kind of broken out by age groups and get it all set up. There's a lot that needs to be done. And then we have about a day and a half of distribution, and people who are willing to come along, be a personal shopper, carry the bag, and have some conversation with someone coming through the line to do some Christmas shopping. This takes a lot of hands for us to pull off, but we just love it. It is good fun. We had a great response from the community last year in helping us to do that, but we literally need hundreds and hundreds of volunteers, 4 days of activity. We'll use anybody, kids down to 11, 12 years of age, if they can come with a parent. We're delighted to have them come along. We had a couple of Boy Scout groups come last year. They spent an hour or two with us. They were, I think, some of the best shoppers, because when the parent would say, well, I have a child who's 11 or 12, and we had some of these Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts there, they're like, oh yeah, I know exactly what they would like. It was awesome.
I'm that
age. They got this. It was awesome. So wide age range, doesn't require any pre-planning other than to sign up, and contact for all of that can be made through our administrative office. Can I give them the telephone number?
Absolutely. I just jotted it down. I think I know it by heart.
Should we test you? No,
okay.
I'll tell you.
Oh, no. Let me try.
You. Okay.
702-870-4430.
Yeah, excellent. Right on the money.
I love the Salvation Army. I don't know how many ways I could say it. The mission, the kindness, open acceptance of anyone in need appeals to my heart.
Thank you.
That's why I know your number. As far as people signing up, because we got volunteers, think of all the different opportunities we've already put out there. Ringing a bell, donating food for the Scouting for Food drive, to donating for the Red Kettle campaign, where we need $600,000 to help carry out the mission of the Salvation Army for helping all these people in need here in Southern Nevada, to Angel Tree, putting it in your workplace, in your office, to helping with the toy distribution at Cashman Center, all of the different volunteer efforts. I don't even think I mentioned, since early on in our discussion, come and help serve those meals on the Owens campus.
Every single day. We serve upwards of 1,000 meals every single day on our Owens campus. 365 days a year. We need helping hands. We'll take a few extra hands at Thanksgiving and Christmas, but it doesn't have to be limited to that. Every single day, we've got men and women and families coming through for a meal with us.
And if you want to make a difference in your community, all you have to do is volunteer.
That's right.
That's all it takes. Lots of opportunities. There's something you're going to want to do. We have clerical volunteering opportunities, and then we've got all of this. So the phone number, 702-870-4430. Becky, there is also a website where people can donate. They can participate in Angel Tree. They can volunteer their time. They can find out about your efforts, all kinds of things.
That's right. They can find all of those services and all the information they need at salvationarmysouthernevada.org.
Spell it all out.
Spell it all out.
Okay.
salvationarmysouthernevada.org.
And you know that I'm going to put all these links and everything on our Talking Solutions Facebook page so that people can also access it through there and listen to our full discussion as well.
Awesome.
Even though we've been talking for a while, we still haven't covered everything that the Salvation Army does to make a difference in our community. We also have the Salvation Army thrift stores all around the valley. And last year, I know I learned for the first time where that money that is raised goes and what it does.
We are really blessed in Las Vegas to have one of the Salvation Army's adult rehabilitation centers, our drug and alcohol recovery program, and does amazing work with over 125 men and women all throughout the year. All of the revenue from the resale of items in those Salvation Army thrift stores comes in to help us to fund that drug and alcohol recovery center. It takes a lot of money, as you can imagine, to keep people in residence for 6 months. We don't ask any financial contribution from the men and women in the program. We just ask them to come in with a commitment to improving their lives as they work out what it means for them to live drug-free, alcohol-free. So those stores provide a very important resource to the community at large. We're just so pleased. The program at the ARC, as we call it, has continued to develop, and just this last week, they had a sobriety banquet to celebrate the men and the women who've really made some very important, huge steps in their sobriety. And as they sort of did a countdown of numbers of weeks and months and years, there were hundreds and hundreds of years of sobriety represented in that room. And as you begin to meet the men and women who've come through these programs and you see how their lives have changed because they've gotten past those addictions and have been able to concentrate on other things, on their families, on their own health and wellness, on giving back into the community, just fabulous to see. Talk about transforming lives. A lot of life transformation happens there.
So if you want to make a difference with people's addictions and overcoming it, the Salvation Army's program, your ARC as you called it, is a very good program.
It is. It's really built around kind of a social model. It's not a medical model. So it involves a lot of personal interaction and holistically, all the way around, all the different ways that their addictions kind of influence into their lives and into the way that they express who they are into the community and into their families. You know, they really have to do a lot of hard work. So the men and women in the program, they'll be involved with the recycling program as goods and products are coming through. Donations into the store, they help with the sifting and sorting of those items. But then in the evenings, they are very much involved in all different kinds of study programs. It does include Bible study. We believe that's important as part of addressing kind of all of who we are, but other different kinds of ways. Some of it is one-on-one with a doctor, helping an individual understand what is the impact of that addiction on their physical lives, or working with a psychologist or family counseling. We interact with sort of the authorities in the community where people are lagging behind in some of their child support payments and things to try to get them a little bit of space so they can get themselves together. And then when they leave our program, then they absolutely can get into a job where they're going to be able to deal with their child support. They're going to be able to look at getting their children back in their lives. That's a really big deal. And being able to hear the testimonies of the men and women who are connecting with their extended family, getting their feet on the ground. The celebration when someone graduates the program is loud and joyful. When they can then stand up a few weeks later and say, I got a job, there is great rejoicing, I'll tell you, because that's what it's all about. It's getting back into the community in a way that's healthy and normal and giving back. It's amazing to watch this transformation.
Getting back on track in the way that you can support the Salvation Army's efforts is by donating your gently used items.
That's right. And we can take pretty much everything. You know, clothing is especially helpful. Some larger items, furniture items, the kinds of things that people are able to come in and pick up and walk away with as they do their shopping tend to be a little easier to sell. So lots of clothing would be really helpful to us right now.
We are still not done talking about all the things that the Salvation Army does in our community. I was so tickled. I came in such a good mood this morning because I knew that we were going to have a return visit with Major Kelly Ponsler and a first visit with Becky Watson from the Salvation Army. We have talked so far, and we're not done yet. I love this. We've talked about the kettle campaign, need $600,000. Volunteer to ring the bell for a kettle makes it go that much further. Talking about the angel tree, how you can put it in your place of business, how you can get involved, how you can help a kid, how you can help with the toy distribution at Cashman Center, second weekend of December. Need a lot of volunteers for that. How you can help with serving over 1,000 meals every day for people in need at the main campus on Owens with the Salvation Army. We need volunteers for that. I'll keep reminding everybody we can use your money, whatever you've got. We've also talked about the Salvation Army, the resale centers that you have, where that benefits the Adult Rehabilitation Center. It's still not done. There is so much. Another thing, Major Kelly Ponsler, that you made me aware of that I didn't know about, and this is important, rescuing people from human trafficking. You hear about things like that on the news. It's not far away. It's in our neighborhoods. how can we be of help, and what kind of things does the Salvation Army do as far as helping to rescue people from human trafficking?
It's amazing how much human trafficking is closer to us than we would even realize most days. In the Las Vegas area, we work with several hundred victims of human trafficking every year. We are connected with them. They're connected to us in a number of different ways, but primarily through Metro, through the police department, through other authorities as people become aware of a situation. What is just astounding to me is that the average age of most of the victims we work with, and they are boys and girls, but they're between about 12 and 17 years of age. So these are kids. I have often admitted to people that in my mind, I was always thinking these were sort of adults and, just making bad decisions. These are kids. And in one way or another, for one reason or another, someone else, an adult, has felt like they can just kind of take control of that child's life and abuse them and misuse them and take from them their future. And we say nobody has a right to take the future from a kid.
And their childhood.
And their childhood. So we want to be a safe place, working with the authorities, with Metro. When a victim is identified, we get them into a safe place of immediate housing. But very often they come with nothing more than the shirt on their back, the shoes on their feet. That's what they've got. So it is a long process, a deep process of working with them to get some medical treatment where they need that, to get them some psychological help to begin to deal with what all of this has meant for them. The practical realities of getting clothing and toiletry items and basic household items. Where we can, where it's safe to do so, we absolutely want to get those kids reunited with their families. Many of the children that we work with actually come out of the Southern Nevada area, which might be surprising to people. But we have others who come in international trafficking situations, and in that case, we work with them. One of our staff will go with them to court to work out their papers, to help them get their life sorted out so they can figure out kind of the what next. It's very time intensive. It has to be handled very carefully and very privately. So it's not an area in which we can often use volunteer services, but we need the help of the community to provide for these boys and girls, these young men and women, what they need to get reestablished, getting them back into school, getting them the clothes that they need to be able to attend school, get back into their households, have toiletries for an interim period of time, or basic household items. We do need to rely on the community to help us to provide all of those things.
And all of the things that we've been talking about so far today, the Red Kettle campaign helps us do so much.
Absolutely.
And we need $600,000. Give what you can. And if you don't have the money, donate the time. There are so many volunteer jobs available through all of the different efforts that you have with the Salvation Army.
That's right. All through the season and all through the year. We can use volunteer hands to do all kinds of things. We're looking for people who can paint walls and all kinds of things. So you might go, well, my skill maybe isn't ringing a bell. I don't feel too comfortable with that, but I might be able to do something else. Give us a call. We have so many different ways people can be involved in very practical ways with us all year long.
I would think that when someone steps up and is on the other end of that phone and they're volunteering their time, you'll find something for them to do. Just the fact that they are willing to donate time and help with all of the different programs with the Salvation Army, not a problem finding something for you to do.
That's right. And often, someone will come in and they say, well, I'd be happy to help serve a meal one day. And you go, I'll give a couple of hours. And then they suddenly realize all of the other things, because we also try to have conversation with our volunteers as they come along and say, this is one slice of everything we do. And the number of repeaters who, I did that. Well, what else can I do? Suddenly leads us into another conversation that all year long there might be an opportunity to do something. That's fun, right? People find their niche. They find the place that they can show up and be the most help. And you can always tell when they found that place just by the way that their faces light up.
You get so much back. I know, Major Kelly Ponsler, you are always doing something for the Salvation Army. This is almost like a 24/7 kind of passion for you.
It's a pretty around-the-clock kind of a thing. I do sleep at night, however. I will point that out.
Well, that would be important for your health.
It would be, yeah.
With me, with the health and nutrition ad, I'm going to tell you, you really need to get your sleep. But there are so many things that the Salvation Army is deeply involved with here in Southern Nevada. And the amount of people, neighbors, friends, coworkers, you may not even realize people in your circle are receiving services thanks to the generosity of the Salvation Army. There are so many ways that you help.
Yep.
I was thinking if somebody was wanting to volunteer, they could start out by calling 702-870-4430. They can also do it, Becky Watson, through the website.
They can. The website is Salvation Army, SouthernNevada.org, and it gives people an opportunity to go through. They can see the volunteer opportunities, and it gives our new volunteer coordinator, Connie Brown, so they can contact her directly.
On the website, you'll see a red kettle where you can make a donation. If you're not out and about shopping during this holiday season, we all know it gets busy and it goes really fast. Nobody would realize how quickly it goes compared to the way you guys are seeing it from the Salvation Army end, because you're just wanting those kettlebells to ring and those kettles to fill up with the donations from people here in Southern Nevada so that you can carry out all of the different programs that you've got going to help our citizens.
Yeah, this is a critical time for us in the year. It's make or break for us in being able to really provide all of the services that we feel are essential. And even with that, there are still gaps. We always look to, can we do more? And when will the opportunity open up for us to pick up another slice? But it just is dependent on what we're able to generate in terms of the income through the Christmas season and throughout the year as well.
And the overall budget, you said $16 million?
Pushing about $16 million. That includes all of our local operations, all of that sheltering and food, as well as the drug and alcohol recovery programs in Southern Nevada.
Everything that you do, and it is extensive and substantial. That's why I knew that we could do a whole program talking about all the things that the Salvation Army does, because it never ends. And the slogan that I love so much, doing the most good, I don't think anybody could question that that's exactly what you're doing all the time. To review quickly, we talked about the Red Kettle campaign. Now, I know my husband's a football fan, so on Thanksgiving it's always turned on. And at the Dallas game with the Cowboys, they always have the big kickoff for the campaign. But are you going to be out even before that time, or what are the dates that we're looking at here?
Most of our red kettles are going to go out the Friday immediately following Thanksgiving. That gives us just about a full month to be able to be out in the community and to ring. We have a few that might go out a little bit early. We're excited here in Las Vegas. We're going to have our own kettle kickoff on Wednesday, November 18th at the UNLV basketball game that night. Those who are coming out for that game, go Rebels. As they enter into the building, they'll see some red kettles out there, and then we'll be inside on the concourse with some information about the Salvation Army. And we're so grateful for that collaboration and partnership with UNLV to give us a chance to tell the community, hey, it's the season. Last year, I had a lot of comments of people that they could hear that bell ringing all the way across the parking lot. And many, many people said, oh, yeah, it's that season, isn't it? And we say, yeah. So that's our official launch in Southern Nevada. And then Thanksgiving Day at the Dallas Cowboys game. They're a great supporter of the Salvation Army, and we appreciate all that they do for us all year long. But we like seeing the Salvation Army in the middle of that game, too.
I love it. That's really my favorite part of the game, to be really honest. Then you said that the following day, which a lot of people call Black Friday, why don't we rename it? Instead of Black Friday, why don't we call it Red Kettle Friday?
There you go.
Works for me.
Let's do it. I don't ask permission. I never ask permission. We're just going to declare it.
There we go.
Black Friday. The thing is, too, it seems like the whole Black Friday thing where people used to sit out in the middle of the night and wait for those bargains. The department stores and all the retailers have figured out they really don't need to do it that way. So you find that the Black Friday stuff has been going on for weeks already. It's ridiculous. So that leaves us that Friday after Thanksgiving to just change the name, and now it's going to be Red Kettle Friday.
There we go.
I like that.
We'll take that.
We're spreading the word right now. Donations are great. So we were talking about all the different things you can do to help. Look for the kettles. I want people to hear the ringing of the bell in their sleep, because that's always kind of in the back of my mind. I love the sound of that bell. The kettle donation drive, you can participate. Put a whole bunch of money in there. That would be really good. And then go find another kettle and put a bunch of money in that one. And you can just make that a whole day, weekend, month, whatever. You could volunteer and ring the bell. You can make a real difference. We talked about Angel Tree. We talked about the toy distribution at Cashman Center coming up that second weekend of December, and all the volunteers that you need. How much would you get back if you were a volunteer personal shopper and you're helping someone find the toys for their children? How good would that make you feel?
Yeah, it's a good time. It's a great way just to connect with people. I think for most people who volunteer, they want to really connect with someone. That's a great way to do it, right? Blow some encouragement into the life of someone.
There are a lot of different ways that you can volunteer too. You can do it as an individual. How about you and your best friend? How about you and your church group, you and your family, a bunch of your coworkers? get together and challenge each other and say, you know, guys, there's something that we could really do this holiday season that would make a tremendous difference. Why don't we all get together and volunteer for the Salvation Army? And then you can decide amongst yourselves, what exactly do you want to do? Because there are so many options out there. Do you want to ring the bell for a kettle? Do you want to go serve meals at the Owens campus? Do you want to participate in the distribution of the toys? There are a lot of different things that you can do.
The opportunities are endless.
They are, and this is
They
the
are
time
endless.
because we're going into the holiday season. We all know how quickly it passes. I can't imagine that there's any downside to saying, this holiday season, I'm going to find a few hours to make a difference by volunteering with the Salvation Army.
I think it's a great thing for families with kids as well. I remember as a child, I have 3 siblings, and from the earliest age, remember being taken out on a Thanksgiving Day or on a Christmas Day. And before we kind of did all of our other family celebrations, we were out helping to serve a meal or be part of the music for a meal that was being served or something. And I look at my siblings now and myself as well. It's just a very normal part of what we do because when we were kids, we were brought along in that process. We learned how to think about others and to give back into the community. Probably a little resistant at the time because it's a little bit...
Because you're kids.
Because you're kids and you don't really know what that all means, but you do that once or twice and then it becomes the regular thing that you do. And I think that's exciting.
Major Kelly Ponsler has been spending the day with us. Also, Becky Watson from Salvation Army. I think that's an interesting point that you brought up just now about how your family in past years when you were growing up made it a part of your holiday before that Thanksgiving dinner or celebration. You actually did volunteer efforts because when you're raised that way, and now I see you, and this is your life's dedication to the Salvation Army, and this is what you do, raising your kids right and teaching them about volunteering and how important it is to be part of your being. It can't do anything but help children when they're growing up to know about being part of a volunteer effort.
Yeah, I agree. And you learn early on just to pay attention to what's going on in your community, right? All of the services that are offered by all of the agencies in the communities across Southern Nevada, that happens because people are paying attention to others in the community, and kids will learn that. They see what's being modeled for them, and let's help them to grow up into adults who see the community and do something. You don't have to do everything, but do one thing, and you're going to start helping somebody's life to change. Their world's going to be transformed, even as a kid.
And you know, down the line, that's going to make Southern Nevada an even better place to live. This is your second Christmas here.
Second Christmas. It's hard to believe. Time has gone fast.
I know, that's what we were saying before we started the interview today. Saying, has it been a year since we got together and sat down and talked about the Salvation Army?
It's crazy.
It's amazing, and time will go fast. So right now is the time for you to decide how you can be of help to the Salvation Army, because there are so many options out there. If you want it to be easy, I'm busy, just write a big check, you go right ahead. But maybe besides whatever donation you can make, how about some volunteer help? How about getting involved with Angel Tree or the toy distribution, or giving your gently used items to the Salvation Army stores so they can take those proceeds and put those toward the Adult Rehabilitation Center? There's a lot of different things that can be done. Did I miss anything?
That's an awful lot. We'll go with that. I would just say if people are aware of someone who maybe is in need of some assistance in this season, we always want people to feel like they have the opportunity to come to tell us their story and ask for the help that they need. Our primary place of assistance for families is out of our Main Street office, 1581 North Main Street. It's our family services office, and families who are needing help of any kind can start there. Food boxes are provided from that location, and they're open 4 to 5 days a week. It depends a little bit on the schedule. There is a telephone number that people can call, 702-648-8240, and it's a good place to start if you're needing some assistance. We're still taking applications for families who will need some help with Christmas toys these next couple of weekends, and so would very much encourage people again to give us a call at 702-648-8240, and they can get that information as to what they would need to bring in with them to make that application for those Christmas toys. Don't hesitate. You might know someone in your circle and you don't know what else to suggest. You can at least suggest that they give that number a call, and let's start there, and we'll do anything that we can.
And I can't impress enough that this is the time for us to all act, because it's so much harder. And I'm not in the situation, but I'm envisioning that when you get close to toy distribution, until the very last moment, people are going to be coming up and going, hey, now is the time that we can help the best. Let's get it on track so that the Salvation Army can be of assistance. That last minute thing is not only heartbreaking for the family who comes along too late, it's also heartbreaking from your side where you have to say, I'm so sorry.
That's right. It's hard to do, but there does arrive a point when you've kind of filled all the slots that you possibly can. But really, we have a team who want to do the very best that they can. We'll help as many people as we can. But yeah, right now is the time to get in and make those phone calls and find out how to get on that sign-up sheet.
It's amazing what we can accomplish when we all work together, and I believe we can easily do this. Red Kettle campaign is getting ready to start. We need $600,000. We need volunteers for all kinds of different positions. We need help with the Angel Tree. We're going to do donations with food items, with the Scouting for Food drive, with the Boy Scouts the Saturday before Thanksgiving. We got a lot of things going on. And if you'd like to talk with somebody with the Salvation Army, the main number always 702-870-4430, and a really, really helpful website, Becky Watson.
Yes, the helpful website for everybody is SalvationArmySouthernNevada.org, and this year for the Red Kettle campaign, #RedKettleReason.
Red Kettle Reason. Okay, I can do that. I need to start adding that to my tweets.
Too many things to remember.
Technology.
I can't remember them all.
Too many. In the middle of talking about all these amazing programs that the Salvation Army takes care of for all of us here in Southern Nevada, we've been telling some stories. I know Major Kelly Ponsler had one. Becky Watson is spending her first time in the studio with us. You got a story for us?
I opened my email last week, and the first email that I read was from a mother with 4 children. She was emailing me in need of assistance, but how she worded it was priceless and really took me back to, this is what I do, this is why I do it. And she said, I'm working hard to provide a roof over our heads, and I'm doing everything I can, but I'm not sure we're going to have the food at Thanksgiving to feed my children. That's it, right there.
Food is the most basic need. There's something about Thanksgiving dinner. Everybody needs to have a Thanksgiving dinner. There's a lot of ways she could go with that, too, because you got the email, and she's not sure she could provide. Maybe there's a way that a box of food items can be provided for them, or they can not worry about making dinner and just
come and enjoy it at
dinner.
the Salvation Army.
That's right.
There's a lot of
Cooked and
options.
ready for them. Yeah.
Exactly. Send back the email and say, well, we got a couple different ideas for you.
Have done that, yeah.
This is going to be a wonderful holiday season. I know it is. I always emphasize what a giving community Las Vegas can be, and Southern Nevada as a whole. We got a lot of good people here. And I mention again, it's amazing what we can do when we work together. I like that story. It is always a joy to have the Salvation Army in-house. You know that my door is always open to you, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
the support and just the chance to catch up on a year
I
and
love
all
this.
that's going on.
I
So,
can't
love
believe
that.
it's been
Thank
a year. Major Kelly Ponsler, also Becky Watson, Salvation Army. And if you want more information, if you'd like to hear our spirited discussion again, you can do that. I've got a podcast and all the info and all the links on our Talking Solutions Facebook page. It's all right there waiting for you. Thank you, ladies, both for joining us today. And this is going to be a great holiday season.
Thank you.
As long as we're telling stories, why don't we give you a chance to tell a story? You know about Home for the Holidays with Walker Furniture?
This is Patty Gervais from Walker Furniture. We are doing Home for the Holidays. This is our 22nd year, and we're doing 30 families. We need everybody out there to write a letter explaining a situation of a family member, a friend, a coworker, someone that you know in this community that needs help. Do it right away. The deadline is December 4th. You can send your letters by mail, you could drop them off, or you can nominate a person online at WalkerFurnitureHomeForTheHolidays.com.
Talking Solutions is a production of the Community Relations Department here at Beasley Media Group Las Vegas. Get more information on today's topic on our Talking Solutions page on Facebook, where you will also find links and a podcast of today's show. Thanks for listening, and have a great week.